Hey, what's up everybody, it's your boy Proftrof and we are back again with another video by Seth. This is Elona review, a JRPG open world Insemination. Okay, so last Seth video, y'all were like, oh, you missed 7 minutes of the Wizardry 8. Okay, yes, something happened there. I'm still not sure exactly how I managed to skip so long into the video and not notice it, but I mean it's fucking fine. I will check out like the minutes I missed at the end of this video, so yeah, stay tuned if you give a fuck about that shit. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's see what Elona is.
Recently, I've been playing the pinnacle of Japanese culture, a game called Elona, and also
Restore adventure journey.
realized there are no real reviews of Elona, since the game is largely played by weebs and man-children, myself included.
Fuck is that
I
guy?
felt this is a huge shame, because there's really
It sounds weird. Why does it sound like this? Oh, it's 3 years ago, probably that's why, right? Is this old Seth? He sounds
nothing
weird.
that comes close to the bizarre and wonderful world that is Elona. Elona is a turn-based roguelike RPG with a lot of sandbox elements.
Okay.
It's also completely fucking free, so go find and download the latest copy of Elona Plus and play that shit
Plus?
because it's fun as fuck. I'll attach a direct link with everything you need in the video description. There's also usually a general discussion thread on JP, and the weebs there know far more about the game than me.
The dog
In terms of
system,
gameplay,
obviously.
Elona
Wait,
operates
we
more
need to
about the
check those,
game.
okay. Congrats on each side, which is also honor of sent back in my lovely contestants wins the honor of being sandbagged in my little girl's prison gene engineering execution playroom. Just know all contestants not picked up with the consolation prize being disassembled into genes to be shoved into little girl like all female NPCs before them. Young ladies should be tied up and spanked. Younger sister, what the? Oh
Than
boy.
me. In terms
Oh,
of
boy.
gameplay, Elona operates on a very conventional design style for this genre. You control your character from a third-person perspective, move with buttons on the numpad, and use the entire keyboard to access different interact buttons on the numpad,
It's the dude.
and use
16 times the details. 4 times the map
the
size.
entire keyboard to access different interaction menus. If you get a bit scared by that layout, Elona also offers a little graphical context menu that allows you to access virtually every menu by just pressing Z, X, or C. And that's as much as the game gives you. As for the rest, it leaves you to figure that out for yourself.
The virgin.
Would you like to be a brawny manlet dwarf fighter? Or a horrific mutant that grows an extra limb every few levels and can eventually swing 8 different axes at once? Or a snail pianist who has to slowly sliver to his next concert while being crushed to death by his poor choice of profession? Or a literal suicide bomber who gives cities the sweet taste of nuclear annihilation? All these examples are possible, and that's why people keep coming back to the game, even continuing development after the original coders left for other projects. Story. The game takes place in the land of North Tiris, which sometimes experiences unpleasant weather conditions in the form of ether wind. Ether wind is a mild gust of magical bullshit, side effects of which may include random mutations, malignancy, and the progression of ether disease.
Okay. Dick-ass dwarf is his name. AKA Trust Pleasure. Class Predator. Oh, I love you, Seth. Strength, Constitution, Dexterity, Perception, Learning, Will, Magic, Charisma. Well, it seems like a very basic JRPG. Seems pretty fun. Were used for human experimentation. You embark to flee from your past. Alter your ordinary. You are self-conscious. You're hard.
The progression of ether disease. which is really just the first two examples mixed together with becoming a disease,
Wait.
which is
Your head has grown huge. You are covered by heavy caparass. You're unstabilizing space around you. Poison drips from your hands. At least your resistance to poison and darkness.
really just the first two examples mixed together
Yay.
with becoming a deformed abomination.
Boy, that's
Since
a big
magical
hit.
wind tumors are magical, everyone points the blame towards the elves. About time
As always,
someone
yep.
dealt with these knife-eared fucks.
Agree.
Anyway, everyone hates elves, but the ship you're on crashes, and elves help you recover, and then make you eat the corpse of a homeless person. After giving you a tutorial on the controls, they fuck off to give the king a message, then some shit happens, and I didn't really pay attention because it's all English bullshit.
English.
The story isn't the main focus of the game, and thank God because it's some typical anime plot, which can be summarized as this. Go very deep into Emperor Hirohito's crypt and keep Emperor Hirohito from rising from the underworld as he plans to reinstate imperialist Japan, and the Liberal Democrat Party of Japan is shitting their pants because after he consolidates power, he'll publicly execute the spineless cuckolds that took US money and sold their own country from under their feet. That's as much as I can review. The game is too weird to be held to standard criteria, so instead, I'll tell you some of my personal adventures and experiences to sell you on it. As soon as you get out of a tutorial cave and enter the first town, you can choose a starting pet. The options are fairly standard: cat, dog, bear, or little girl. Naturally, I chose a little girl. Sadly, my little girl drank
Alien
from a
Kumwo.
dodgy well and got pregnant halfway through a dungeon escort mission. So I had to fend off monsters, fend off children coming out of my little girl while frantic.
Even the smallest person can change the course of geographic amount. Every human's life is worth the same and what's saved.
Looking through my inventory for something to abort the endless stream of fetuses.
Okay, he's joking, right? He's joking, right?
Looking through my inventory for something to abort the endless stream of fetuses.
Fuck. A priest comes up to you and casts a spell on you. No problem. Thanks. Okay.
Luckily, I still had 2 bottles of sulfuric acid, the most effective way to terminate an unwanted alien pregnancy. Many quests in this game are randomly generated and lead to a great deal of hilarity. I received a contract from a town guard who wanted me to get another villager's kiwi through fair means or foul. I found the citizen, offered to trade something for his kiwi, only to find that since the quest had been posted on the public notice board, the kiwi had rotted inside the man's inventory. I traded for it anyway, and somehow this was still acceptable by the guard.
Nice.
I promptly received monetary compensation and extra karma, something that is very useful for not getting fucked by the authorities. Right after that, the guard ate the fucking rotten kiwi and vomited. My karma sank lower than the amount I gained for doing the quest, as I was an accomplice to food poisoning. Sometimes a villager will ask you to get something for their son's birthday, like a broken vase, garbage, a dangerous wand that could potentially maim
lot
your
of
child,
magic
or
missiles.
just an actual piece of shit. The parental instinct in this game is great, as harming grown adults incurs a karma penalty and guard intervention, while attacking and killing a child carries no such repercussions, meaning that Elona genuinely just borrows from the Greek school of ethics, where a child isn't legally a person unless you survive to the ripe old age of 13, and get to vote when they're 30. The same villager may then ask you to clear the woods of dangerous monsters, such as hermit crabs, unlicensed nurses, and unattended children. Some of the quests can even be completely rigged. I've had missions where you need to escort someone's family member safely to another town,
Okay.
only to discover that the family member in question is a trained kamikaze samurai. I didn't exactly know in question is a trained kamikaze.
They're considered considerably stronger than kamikaze yeeks. What is a yeek? And while the latter don't do much damage, this might become a problem for players around their level.
as a
Okay.
samurai. I didn't exactly know what that meant until I got ambushed by bandits during the escort. To defend his family's honor, the samurai instantly charged a pack of them and exploded, causing me to fail the quest,
What's
lose
that?
reputation, lose even more karma, and be instantly branded a criminal. And if you're a criminal, life is hard. There's only one city in the game that'll take you, which is Durfee. A place with no guards, but many, many prostitutes. You can complete quests here and attempt to raise your karma out of criminality, if only half of the quest givers were actually reachable. Half of the time, the shopkeepers will start openly fucking whores in front of you, blocking all conversation until they're finished. By the way, there's also a sanity mechanic in this game, which for some reason reduces your sanity after using a hooker. Maybe from the rampant herpes they carry, I don't know. In rare circumstances, this means that a citizen giving out a quest fucks a hooker, goes insane, and attempts to attack the hooker. However, being insane greatly lowers their stats, meaning the hooker nearly always wins the brawl and kills the citizen instead, preventing you from starting or completing a quest
That's a mean pussy.
until they magically respawn days later, by which time the contract may have already expired and you get penalized with further karma penalties. After much hardship, I thought there must be a safer way to make money, so I took to performing music for tips. Getting tips, however, requires that you finish your performance, which is really hard when, midway, someone decides they don't like your performance and throw a fucking rock in your face.
What the fuck?
Half of the time, this is done by guards, because killing terrible musicians isn't a crime in Elona. On the other hand,
That should be
everything is a
real
crime
life
if it's
as well.
done by you. I learned later how to pickpocket, but as my skill level was very low, wanted to practice on something easy, like piles of clothing or trees. Yes, you can pickpocket a tree and steal it from the forest. Then, as I'm peacefully uprooting trees in the woods, a fucking ghost flies past and calls for the guards to arrest me. Even in the depths of the wilderness, if a hideous abomination lurking the underbrush sees you pilfering a chestnut, they'll make sure the authorities know about your wicked sins. It did pay off in the end, though. Did you know you can steal from monsters? Furthermore, did you know you can steal the arm off a mecha and prevent him from fighting back, allowing you to potentially kill the level 30 monster and level up several dozen times? It's true. Just
hits
don't let
Big
him
Daddy.
catch you in the act, or the fantasy popo will have a word with you. Raising skills requires you to spend quest rewards, but raising attributes is a bit more complex. It's a slower process, since the gains are exponentially better. One of the hardest to raise is charisma, as it directly allows you to have more followers, servants, and adventurers in your party. That is, unless you eat engagement rings. You heard me right? Engagement rings. Any item that has an inherent attribute bonus on it, like engagement rings which give 5 extra charisma, will in theory give you those attributes if you somehow eat them. So, you stack a lot of scrolls of inferior material and degrade that metal ring repeatedly until it turns to paper, then into cloth, then into fucking meat, and guzzle on that shit. After swallowing enough meat rings, you'll be utterly irresistible. Even as I was writing this review, Halloween came around in Elona. So trick-or-treaters came to my house dressed as skeletons and asked me if I want a trick or treat. I asked for a treat, so they called the cops. Some days later, more skeletons came around and asked me the same question. I picked trick, so they Molotoved my fucking house and burnt down my bed. Fuck those kids. The karma loss is a small price to pay for their screams. And that's only some of the crazy shit that's happened to me. Elona is a game that keeps on giving. Much like chlamydia, it also satisfies your JRPG grinding itch. Much unlike chlamydia, the burning of which will only get more intense as you ignore the symptoms and avoid seeing your local GP. It is very Japanese, so you can either do interesting things and explore the world, or autistically grind your stats and skills to the point where you can kill God. and then the god inside that god.
Level 1200 female.
Japan.
That's a female.
Elona
Yeah.
is a game that defies
That's a Japanese
description
game.
and shits
It's a joke, it's a
on
joke.
convention. A game where you can marry your own dog, genetically engineer a child to have more feet so they can wear 2 pairs of shoes, or kill a dragon by throwing alcohol at it until it's too drunk to defend itself. It's really an experience, and I can't say anything more than go and give it a spin and see if you like it. As always, hope you enjoyed the review. More videos coming soon, and remember, everybody loves Shayna's ass.
Okay, I'll go check out the Wizardry. This was okay. So we skipped from 47 to the 9th minute. How did I accomplish this? I don't know. Let's see what we
To be
missed.
released on the personal computer. Wizardry 8 takes place in the Dragon Ball Z extended universe. You and your party are space-traveling aliens hired by the Wookiees to retrieve all 3 remaining
the
Dragon
Wookiees?
Balls, the Astral Domine, the Chaos Malari, and the Destiny Dominus, and use them to ascend as literal gods and reshape the universe. Ascension takes place on a planet called Dominus. Unfortunately, the process of ascension has been complicated by the involvement of a dark savant, who, to put it simply, is Space Hitler, setting up an interplanetary anti-Semitic. To put it simply,
Why does it look like Mysterio from Spider-Man?
is Space Hitler,
Mysterio?
setting up an
Mysterious? What's his
interplanetary
name exactly?
anti-Semitic blockade around Dominus. Unfortunately, your ship bears the Mark of David and is quickly shot out of the sky, forcing you to make a crash landing. All things considered, that's not too bad. Except, Space Hitler has also rigged the planet with a nuclear payload that is large enough to glass the entire surface, in case anyone who
Oh.
isn't Space Hitler tries to ascend. I hope you're following all this, because this is
No.
just the intro. And now I'm gonna quickly summarize the plot to help you understand how amazing this game is. Space Hitler is not very popular. As a result, he loses the only Dragon Ball he has to the Italian Mafia, because he neglected to pay their godfather, Don Barlone. By the way, the Italian Mafia in this game is composed of rats
Scale.
and speak in an Italian-American accent.
Me? I'm always in top form, not just Ratkin. Razooka, pal! Yeah, the Order of
Razooka.
Tar. You might consider us a family of sorts.
Don Barlone switches out the Astral Domine with a shiny salt lick. The melanated master finds out and has an autistic tantrum in front of you. You'll come to find this is a common theme. You take the imitation and buy the real thing. It costs most of your life savings, so instead of paying, you might try and whack him instead. Luckily, the best tricks
Dodge.
are so nice that they work twice. First, you gotta get chummy with the Umpani or the Trang. This is the choice between authoritarian rhinos or literal bugmen that reproduce faster than India. I usually roll Umpani because we share a
Best in
common
India.
bond in our attraction to anthropomorphic rhino girls. Siding with one of those lets you visit the
Girls of
local
the
Wookiee
wild.
embassy to have a look at their Chaos Malari. And by having a look at their Chaos Malari,
Yoink.
He seems like an honest, trusting guy, and those are my favorite kinds of people.
I mean snatching it in front of them, apologizing sincerely, and then replacing it with a knockoff glass bulb. Then you gotta find the Destiny Dominus, which is really the search for enlightenment. As the source of all knowledge in the universe, you find it naturally by consuming a lot of psilocybin, DMT, and ayahuasca. So you can project yourself to a higher plane of consciousness and talk with Joe Rogan. With all 3 Dragon Balls in your dragon sack, there's still the small matter of nuclear oblivion. So you gotta go up north and offer your sweet body to a goat demoness. This game was very progressive for its time because Alcedexis is fiercely heterosexual and rejects the very concept of scissoring. She also rejects the concept of monetizable content because her milk jugs are anything but modest. Anyway, to disarm the bomb, you have to get inside it. How? By breaking and entering into people's bedrooms because, logically speaking, one of them is bound to have a direct access interdimensional portal into the bomb,
fuck
which
is-
can be disabled by pressing random keys and getting lucky. With the bomb no longer armed, you smack the savant, leaving him disarmed. The savant dies, but in his death reveals to you the ultimate truth that he's been using a voice changer on Discord this whole time, and he's not actually that dark. The end. Any questions? No? Then in that case, welcome to Wizardry 8. I love this game. Now let's talk about playing it. To play, you need to make a party. From characters, you make yourself. If I said there's a
Mandalore.
lot of options, that would be an understatement. You can be anything you
What's a
want to be.
mook?
Humans, non-humans, subhumans, furries, scalies, more furries, and even short kings. There's so many short kings in this game,
Oh,
you
you
can
show-
pick by your
show
preferred
Joe Rogan.
size. Anything from 5'11" kings to a 5'10" pocket prince, who are so light at this point they get carried away by the wind. Race. Is there a link between race and I? There's 11 races, and that's only including ones you can pick. There's about 16 in total. Do anything you want to do, and I mean it. I don't care how many classes your game has, because Wizardry 8 has 15, including, but not limited to, fighters, which fight, Valkyries, which fight using female privilege to avoid death, ninjas, which fight with the empty space representing their lack of contribution to the team until 2 weeks into the average game. However, if you rolled a fairy ninja, congratulations, because your pocket prince can now solo the entire game. Alchemist makes potions and breaks the economy by making infinite potions you can sell for infinite money, letting you buy everything in the entire game. 10 out of 10, working as intended. Gadgeteer, who uses an unconventional form of weaponry. A gun. But that's the boring part. The interesting part is overloading a microwave in a monastery, ripping out the microwave chip, and using it to give your enemies brain tumors. Gadgets are essentially random pieces of trash duct taped together to inexplicably cause widespread devastation. And if you think that sounds ridiculous, then let me tell you about the bard. In most games, a bard plays music, keeps up morale, and probably cooks and cleans for the party as well. In
got it.
Wizardry 8, the droning melody of a bard's bagpipe brings pandemonium. The plucking of his harp causes cerebral hemorrhaging, and the blowing of his horn results in nuclear fallout. Building the optimal six-man party is difficult. Explaining is difficult, and we don't have time. Here's my build. Follow it, copy it, enjoy it.
So, okay, I want to see his classes.
And party is difficult. Explaining is difficult, and we don't have time. Here's my build.
So he has a fighter, a rogue, a fighter, a priest, an alchemist, and a psionic. A mook, an elf, a mook, a hobbit, and a hobbit. Oh, god damn it.
Follow it, copy it, enjoy it. It's very powerful, very well-rounded, and gives you a complete first experience of a game. By the way, this game's got a lot of voice dialogue,
I've got a surprise for you. Stand still so you can get it between the eyes.
and most of it comes from your own party.
I almost feel normal.
There's 18 different personalities for each gender.
Oh, wow.
There will be many implements of destruction at my disposal, yeah?
Which is
Yeah.
36 fully voiced personalities in total.
Yeah, slice 'em, dice 'em, no sense being nice to 'em. That's my motto.
And that's absolutely nuts. Now, on to the fun stuff. I present to you all my current party. That's right, I manually imported all this to work inside the game. By the way, they're fully animated. The portraits, not even that bad. But manually animating the eyes and mouth, yeah, that took a while. As our first fighter, we got Internet Historian. Physically, he's a giant. Mentally, he's...
Ah, a trap. I wonder what would happen if I just pulled this thing here.
He's very stable. Mr. Mandalore as our second fighter, whose voice I absolutely adore.
How exciting. I think I'm improving. Oh no. More people. They just keep coming and coming. I'm getting stressed.
It's just so expressive. As our morally bankrupt, backstabbing, conniving, and scheming Jew, we got my man Uber Danger as a rogue who sounds
Say Jew.
exactly as he
Okay,
does in real life.
I'd rather be recognized with cash, but a rise in status will do. Oh yeah, this is amazing. Nothing special. Yeah, probably worthless. I'll just hang on to it for us. You go on and fight. I'll guard the rear.
For spellcasters, I put Frederick Knudsen as our resident psionic. There's nothing wrong with him. He's actually the most well-adjusted of the entire group.
Gotcha! I am glad to be alive again, though the stillness
He's a
of death
female.
was not totally
He's a
objectionable.
female.
Also, I put him as female. Sorry, Fred baby, but the best jewelry in this game is for girls, and we need to min-max. Myself as the party's dark, brooding alchemist.
Ordinary men fear the power of darkness. I revel in it.
Who, over the
Bane.
course of the story, has been one-shot many times.
The dead guy. What was his name?
Thanks so very much. Why did you tear me from death's sweet embrace?
And finally, Ken Ashcorp as our local priest.
Ken
Be careful.
Ashcorp.
I can't believe we're wasting time talking to a chipmunk!
Who's also...
And that's where we continue out the other video from. So yeah, we skipped actually a decent amount of content, good content. I see why y'all were triggered. But it's okay, I told you, we back, we got it. We saw this shit. I don't know how the fuck, what did I press to skip fucking 9 minutes? That's fucking insane. Anyway, I'll just leave it here. We saw what we needed to see. That's it. That's what's important. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, everybody. Have a nice fucking day.